I really have to stop procrastinating, and I gotta make these videos. I really want to make the videos. I want to be able to talk about the things that I've learned, the things I've noticed, and be able to tell it to you. Now, at this point in time, I really don't know for some of these videos who the you is. But for a lot of it, it's going to be all about, for a lot of it, it's going to be about my closest family and closest friends, which has become much smaller over the past few years as I've gone through these exercises, and I've learned so much more about who I am and why this has been such a troubling life, regardless of the amount of blessings bestowed upon me, regardless of the amount of success, regardless of the amount of wonderful times with my family and just everything that I have. People would say, wow, that's just an incredible life. Yeah, it is, by pretty well any standard. So why was I so unhappy? And why was everyone in my family so unhappy? And why were my friends so unhappy? Everybody unhappy. And that was an amazing thing for me to recognize. And now I know whoever you is, or are, sorry, I'm not going to promise to speak perfect English here, because it's not the perfect English that counts. It's actually what I'm saying, what I mean. And as long as I can effectively get that point across, though, then I'm communicating just fine. And as long as it's truth and it's from my heart, then I'm just fine. So I recognized everyone was unhappy. And when I say everyone was suspect. Even the people that said that they were happy. Even the people that looked like they were happy. Everybody looks happy. Oh, perfect family. Oh, look at that wonderful family. Nope, nope, nope. My daughter didn't do drugs. Nope, she didn't do that. She didn't have sex when she was 12. The perception is far more important to the reality to everybody today. Why is that? We have some underlying issues that are unbelievably important for us to recognize, particularly in the period and the time that we're in. Folks, we're embarking on a period in time and space. I'm not speaking of just this country. We have reached a period on a global basis that I believe if there is life out there, intelligent life, they're all watching right now, because they're about to watch an entire planet destroy itself fast. It's not a coincidence that people feel like there's something on the horizon that is not good. There is a darkness looming. There is a shadow over top of our heads that everybody can feel. And it doesn't matter whether you're a Democrat, whether you're a Republican, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether you live in England. It doesn't matter whether you live in Japan. It doesn't matter whether you live in Brazil, Mexico, Haiti, or the Antarctica. Everybody feels this, and everybody notices it. But no one wants to talk about it. No one wants to try to identify the issue. And it's right in front of everyone's face. Folks, it might seem like we are a country here in the United States that is sovereign from the rest of the world. Although it doesn't matter how many borders you draw, It doesn't matter how many different certificates of citizenship and how legitimate you might stamp those, and how many billions of dollars or trillions might be behind that stamp. The fact of the matter is, before you're a citizen of any country, you're a citizen of Earth. Period. Other human beings, other living creatures. And there is basic fundamental laws that they live by, those other creatures. In fact, this entire planet lives by a single fundamental law. One law. That's it. If you could think for a second, and you're a Christian, or you're a Buddhist, or you are whatever religion, think for 1 second who God might be. Maybe you're an atheist. Hey, first of all, I actually think it's impossible to be an atheist, because at a minimum, if you say you don't believe in God, but yet you're still breathing, and you are an individual that can actually think on your own and have your own opinions and create your own product and live, sustain, survive, all by yourself. If you can do that, then aren't you at least your own little God at a minimum? And so if you could be your own little God of that living, breathing torso you're walking around in, why can't you accept the reality that the odds are that this massive, living, breathing, wonderful, unbelievable creation, right? Unbelievable creation called Earth, that is the most spectacular thing ever created in the universe. Just look at it. You know it's unique. And if you look at all those planets in our solar system, you might understand that that's just a palette of paint. Well, palette of paint for somebody, but it's more like chemicals and gases and compounds and all sorts of other wonderful scientific stuff. Yes, God is a scientist, folks. Hey, don't know whether he's human, don't know what he is, but he says that he created us in his likeness, so he might look somewhat like us. I'm sure a hell of a lot prettier. But if he is the creator, and I believe you to be, then we have an incredibly sensitive creator. For all you that say, well, there can't be a God. God allows these awful things to happen. What kind of loving God can let these awful things happen to women and children? Well, you see, God doesn't let those things happen. God doesn't work that way. God will not violate his own law to serve his own purpose. The law of God is the law of this land. The law everything lives by, and that is a value system. Yes, a value system. But what is a value system? We're going to get into that. I think it's hysterical that whenever I ask anyone, what's your value system? They say integrity, or honesty, or love, or Christianity, or Christ. Christ. Well, Christ represented something. Definitely represented a value system. But what was that value system? I bet most of you don't even know, but yet will proclaim that you're a follower of Christ. Christ was existentialist. He was an existentialist. He was all about individual, very much similar to the founders of this country. In fact, So much so, he was about the individual that he only answered questions with a question posed to whoever might be listening to his answer. And yet the answer wouldn't be something that you couldn't answer. It would be an obvious answer. But when you arrived at it, it would be unique. Because you answered the question, someone didn't tell it to you. And so that means that the answer was uniquely designed for you, because you answered it yourself. So you could apply all the things you feel and all the measures of severity of interest, a severity of passion or love of a subject or something. There's lots to learn, folks. Lots to learn. And as I take my last breaths, and as I feel this physical body disintegrate, I also get to understand that I control a lot of it, because these are laws that were violated somewhere in my body, probably many times. And so God doesn't let this happen. I violated the laws way back. That's how it works. But I can tell you what you take with you. The only thing you take with you is what you neglect to give. What you neglect to forgive. And all the pain and suffering that those actions caused others. When you could have given, or you should have contributed your 50%, your value equal, and you didn't. And somebody suffered and continued to suffer. That's how that works. When someone crosses you, does you wrong, hurts you, breaks your trust, violates your trust, steals from you, however, whatever, they are seeking forgiveness, truly seeking forgiveness, when they are truly humbling themselves and understanding the gravity of their actions, and they're articulating to them, to you, how much pain they see that they've caused, so that they can actually tell you the pain. You'll know that they had sought to see the pain, so they could then truly seek and request forgiveness, because they understand now that if they can get forgiveness, they will be free from the pain and the torment of understanding the gravity of their offense against you. By you not granting them forgiveness, you are condemning them to a life of torment over that. The fact is, you don't get to choose whether that offense was too great. That's not your job, because you understand so little of the laws and so many of the dynamics, you could not possibly make an accurate judgment. You're just not equipped. You couldn't make a judgment that would be fair and applied appropriately. And judgments aren't to be laid out by anyone else. Judgment is laid out by the individual themselves, in themselves. They destroy themselves. It's the hate, it's the torment. If somebody has done a lot of that and on the outside they look like they're smiling and have a wonderful life in a big, beautiful mansion, believe me, the hell and the torment inside, they've just learned to cope. Drugs, lots of them. And that means the preferred booze. The one that had me wrapped up, that evil shit. That's bad stuff. And there's nothing that should be socially acceptable about that. But it's the abuse of the substance, not so much the substance itself, because it's actually just part of God's work. But it's there, and we abuse it because we need to. We need to disappear, because none of this makes sense. Well, folks, I can tell you right now, I got a smile on my face, and I'm dying. And I have very little time left, and I can't tell you, I can't wait to get started on this next gig, because this is positively, what I've learned is positively the most profound thing I've ever even known. No church has ever told me about this, man. I can't wait. And if you knew just how close I was, you'd be excited for me and for yourself. I've graduated. I really hope you do too, because it's not dying that makes you graduate. It's understanding it. Understanding all of life thoroughly inside you that makes you excited about that next stage. And you know, God's a genius, because if he just told you all these things and you just knew it, you wouldn't seek it, and you wouldn't know its path and its uniqueness to you, because you discovered it. Someone didn't walk you there. Go discover it. Seek it. It's different for you. I can just guide you. That's all. I love you very much, no matter who you are. That's where I start. It's up to your actions and understanding of your contributions that will continue that love. And no matter what, that love will still be there, because the person inside you, the person you were built to be, will always be that person. It's just, I can decide not to like the one that's developing on the outer shell that will ultimately condemn the one on the inside to hell permanently. I don't like to see that happen. So I hope I love you forever.